Hello everyone. I get a lot of questions with people asking, how do you know when your garlic is ready to pick? And that same thing for onions also. In today's episode, I'm going to show you exactly how I'm going to harvest my garlic that I planted late October, and it's July, and we're going to go ahead and harvest those garlic bulbs. I'm going to show you exactly how you know it's time and show you how to do it. You're in the garden with Patrick. So planting garlic is probably one of the easiest things that you can plant in your garden. It is so simple, you don't really even have to worry about it throughout the year. The key is to get those big, large bulbs of garlic, you have to plant them in the winter or late fall. Garlic usually needs around 8 months and a period of cold spell to make those big, large bulbs. Now, if you plant them in the spring, you can still get garlic, but the issue is you're not going to get the large bulbs that you normally would if you planted them in the fall. So just keep that in mind when you're planting your garlic. You can really plant garlic at any time and really in any zone. I'm in 8 right now, and we planted in October. I'm going to put a link below for that video on how to actually plant your garlic. But again, it's super simple. So today we're going to talk about how I'm going to take my garlic back here and we're going to harvest it, and then I'll show you how to cure it for the 6 or 8 months. Now, as you can see here, I have some garlic back here, and then these are my potatoes. We'll have a separate video on how to plant and harvest potatoes. You can see that these are almost about ready to be picked, also harvested. But I'll make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I'll post that video very soon, because it's going to probably be in the next month, maybe the next 2-3 weeks or so, that I'm going to harvest these potatoes. But let's talk about this garlic. Garlic is going to take you around 8 to 9 months to really fully mature. So that's, if you plant them in October, it's going to be usually around the time that we're doing this now, which is in June or July. So as we mentioned, you can plant these in containers if you want. You can also plant them in ground or above ground, like in a raised bed or in some type of a container, as I mentioned. But the key is that you just plant it and you just kind of leave it alone. But the question that I often get is when do you know that it's time to harvest? This is a great example. These two here, if you notice two things about them. Number one, you can see the brown here, it's starting to brown on the leaf, and it's also starting to fall over. So once you see this kind of growth in your garlic, you're going to start noticing that it's about time to harvest them. Now, what I usually like to do when I harvest is you loosen up the ground, but before you do that, I would wait about a week or so before you actually dig them up. So normally what you want to do is about a week before you're going to harvest your garlic, you want to stop and not water, okay? And what that does is that allows that papery, thin outside layer to develop, and we'll show you how that curing process also works to develop that. But the key is about a week or so before you're ready to harvest, just kind of stop watering them. So when your soil is dry, you're going to look at that stalk and you're going to see that it's kind of leaning. You want to loosen the soil underneath that garlic bulb. So you're going to take some type of tool, whatever you have, and you're going to get underneath that garlic bulb, loosen that soil up a little bit, and gently pull on that stalk. Again, you'll see that just kind of come straight out. Loosen that soil up, and you'll see, look at that. It's a beautiful, nice, large garlic bulb that we have there. We can do the same thing with all of our garlic bulbs. Loosen it up just underneath, and then you're gently going to pull on that garlic stalk, and look at that. We got another beautiful sized garlic bulb. It's almost the size of my palm. Just crazy. So what you're going to do when you're doing this is each individual bulb you're going to pull out, kind of knock off that excess soil on there, as what we're doing here, and you'll see that that will continue to be a good process for drying. I don't usually wet mine and wash that dirt off. You'll leave those roots on there that you're going to keep those for a while until it dries also. Now, as a special bonus today, I'm going to show you how you know that your onions are ready, and this is not rocket science, kids. It's pretty simple, but the main thing is as you can see, these are pretty much ready to go. But again, it's the same concept that we're looking at here for your onions as it is the garlic. You see that, first of all, instead of these stalks standing straight up, they have already started to fall down, and you can see that they're starting to brown here. And of course, you know, they're kind of coming out of the ground too. So that's a tell sign. But again, sometimes they're a little bit deeper in the ground, and that's again when you'll know that you're going to time to harvest these, when the stalks start to fall over and they start to brown. You're going to do the same thing with this as you would your garlic. So what I'm going to just do is loosen this soil underneath it just a little bit, so you're not pulling anything. And then from there, you can go ahead and just pull that onion right out. So again, planting onions is also pretty simple and easy to do. So we'll just do this, the same thing with all of our onions. Pull that out, and you can see here it's a really nice small onion, but it's an onion nevertheless. So before I finish harvesting my onions, I'm going to show you how you can vertically grow your squashes. This is a spaghetti squash that I have, and I've grown this vertically. And again, beautiful sized squash right here. I'm going to pick this one right now today. But again, we've got a couple of them that have already been fertilized by the pollinators, and this is a good example of how you can grow vertically using pretty much anything you want. I'll put a link below on how you can grow squash vertically. I'll put a video that I just recently did. Another great garlic harvest just before the rain hits. So there's all kinds of different ways of drying your garlic. There's no real said way that you should do it. The way I do it personally is I do two different methods, and it depends on, you know, how much I harvest at that point. You can tie your garlic here and mainly hang it from something. You can do something like this and just hang your garlic upside down. You can hang it also upright. It doesn't really matter, I don't think, really, whether it's upside down or, you know, whichever way. That's one method that you can do. The key for the drying is that you're going to dry your garlic for at least maybe a week to 10 days, 2 weeks probably. The main reason that you want to dry out your garlic is to get that papery, thin outside layer. So I do not wash my garlic. I'll let this dry out totally. And then once you have this dried out, then you can just kind of brush the dirt off of your garlic. So it's not going to hurt anything just to leave it that way. So this is another method that you can use. You can just use a little grate like this, and you can just kind of hang this way. And then that's another cool method. So whatever you have available for your garlic drying, I would just say just do it whatever works best for you. Now, here's what's the most important thing is once you're done drying your garlic, and let's take a look at this big bulb here. Once you're done with drying your garlic, then you're going to snip this part off, these roots, and then you're going to snip the stalk right around here. Give it about maybe a half of an inch when you're cutting here, because that way you don't want to cut too much into the garlic. By drying it, whichever method that you're going to use, you're going to be able to store your garlic in maybe a dry container, and also when you are drying your garlic, make sure that it's in a cool, dry, dark area. But when you're drying it this way, what happens is it allows you to store your garlic for at least 6 months, maybe even up to 8 months or a year. So that's the main reason. If you want to eat some garlic right now, you can certainly eat this right away, but if you want to store this and have this garlic last for a long time, you can certainly dry it the way, the method that you feel like is important. The most important thing is that you dry your garlic. Lastly, there's various ways of what you can do with your garlic. Once it's dry, you can obviously cook it, cut it up, you can dehydrate it, you can make powder, garlic powder, and I'll be doing a lot of that throughout the year. So make sure that you subscribe to the channel, and I'll give you some different updates on how I'm using this garlic for my stuff for this year. So it will be in the kitchen, and we'll make some really good, yummy recipes with some of this garlic. So I thank you for watching and subscribing. And again, if you have any comments on how you like to dry your garlic, or maybe how you like to prepare garlic in a different meal or something like that, let me know in the comments below. And make sure that you like this video and send it to your friends, okay? I appreciate you watching. So if you want to get huge garlic like this every year with little effort, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll show you how. Check out the links below and hit that bell button. Every time I send a new video out, you'll be notified. Again, thanks for watching. Happy gardening.